Hello there, FXTA new members. This is Rod. I want to go through real quickly, do a quick run through on your chart setup. Make sure you do have it correct. As you know, in the first training, this is where we pretty much focused on. Number one was your MT4 charts and how to navigate through your MT4 charts. And then we went ahead and set up your charts so they look the same as mine as far as our first setup, which is what I call the buy-sell zone setup. So what I want to do right here is run through just nothing but setup of your charts. Request has been made that would I please just walk through chart setup and how to get your charts to set up to look like mine, and just do that exclusively on this video, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Now I'll go at a rapid pace on this setup. I want to keep this video short so you can go through it and refer to it often if you need to go back and reset your charts up. The beauty is you'll have the controls at the bottom. You can stop it, you can rewind it, you can go forward and all that good stuff. So this is going to be strictly nothing but chart setup to make sure you have your chart set up correctly. So here we go. I just opened up my traders platform. You want to go ahead and do that. I don't have any charts in the screen here yet, so I'm going to go ahead and pull in a new chart. I'll just go ahead and pull in the Euro USD. It's not really important what chart you put up here, because we're going to go through the chart setup itself. Alright, so let's go ahead and set this chart up. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and go to properties. So just put your mouse on your chart, right click, click on properties, and on the properties I want to go to colors. And I'm going to go through and change the colors here so they go well with the indicators that we have. The background, I'll keep that black. The foreground, we'll keep that white. You can keep that white. I like this color. I'll go with the dark khaki. The grid, none on the grid. On the bar up, we're going to go with olive drab. Bar down, that will be red. Bull candle is going to be olive drab. Bear candle is going to be red. The line graph, I actually mark that white, not something we use too often. And the rest of it you can leave just the default colors. So there we go on the color scheme for that. Now, to increase the thickness of these, you're going to use the plus and minus sign. Plus will increase the thickness of right now we have it set on bars. We want them candles, so you're going to go up here to the candle and select candle. So again, this tool here is used to decrease the size of the charts and to increase it, the plus and minus, and then here's the candle right here. Right? If for some reason you don't have all of these tools up in your nav window, just right click somewhere in here. When you right click in here, it's going to bring up this window. Make sure you have standard checked, charts checked, line studies checked, and the period checked, and you'll be good to go. Right? So we've got the candles mapped out. Now it's time to pull in the FXTA indicators that you have set up on your computer. So go up here to View, go to Navigator, and you'll see this pop up. Chances are you haven't opened anything up, so it looks something like this. If you see this where it's blank, nothing's populating in the Navigator window, click on the Common tab and that will bring it up. And we're going to go here to Custom Indicators. In the Custom Indicators, you'll see a series of indicators titled FXTA. This is FX Traders Academy. These are your proprietary indicators that we use to trade with. So let's set up the very first one. The very first one's going to be the FXTA buy-sell zone. Pull that into your screen. How I did that is I just left-clicked on this, held down my mouse, and pulled it into the screen. You want to make sure that both these boxes are marked. If an indicator is not showing up on your charts, there's only two reasons why that would happen. Either A, you don't have both these boxes marked, or B, you've never sent me your MT4 account number, which can be found up here. So it's either going to populate here at the top of your charts on your ATC or FXCM charts, or sometimes it shows up in the middle, up in the blue bar. But the only reason that they're not going to show up is A, you didn't mark both these boxes, or B, you've never sent me your account number. And I need the account number to get these to run on our server. Right? So we've got that there. On the inputs, you're going to keep the first set here exactly the same. Colors, these are good. I'm going to go on this middle color on this particular one. I'm going to go with no color. So 0 is red, number 1, none, number 2, olive drab. I'll keep everything else the same. Don't change any settings over here. So we're good here. We're good here. We're good there. Click OK. first step. Need to pull in this exact same indicator again, FXTA buy sell zone. Pull that back into your screen like we did the first time. On the common tab, make sure these are both marked. On the inputs, we are going to change that. Double click this until you get that to look exactly like that. Usually it's a double click. We're going to back that out and we're going to put in just a 3. Colors, I'm going to actually on this one, I'm going to change this color to dark gray and then click OK. And now we've got our buy sell zone. If you want to squeeze the charts in to see more of the indicators, just put your mouse over on the right side, left click, hold down, and you can squeeze it down or bring it back up. So we've got our series of our buy sell in here, which is great. That's the first step. Okay, next indicator we're going to put in here is our overbought, oversold. FXTA overbought, oversold. Pull that into here, down to the bottom. Release. I'm going to change a couple things. Remember, both these have to be marked. Inputs, keep these the same. Color, we're going to change these a little bit. The yellow is going to actually be red. And then we'll go olive drab on the next two colors. Good there. Levels. Some of these are default levels, but for this setup we're going to change that. So again, you double click here till you can actually activate that. And we're going to change that to 75. We're going to change this to 25. And on this one, double click. Just get it to show up all blue. Hit your delete key and get rid of that one. And then I'm going to change this to that khaki color. Right there. So again, both boxes marked. Inputs, keep them the same. There's sometimes we change them, but right now these are fine with market's current condition. These are the colors. I'll keep these at a 2 thickness. Levels, I change that to a 75 and a 25. Change this to a khaki. Click OK, and there's our overbought, oversold indicator. You can make this, it's taking up too much space on the chart, so you can put your mouse here. When you get that north and south pointing arrow, you can left click and pull it down and make it a little bit smaller. Okay. All right, our next indicator is going to be our see, the first is overbought. This is our divergence indicator. I'm going to pull that in. Let me double check something here. Yeah, that's correct. If you ever need to access an indicator, you can right click on your chart, and on that you can go indicator list. And right now we're going to work on the divergence indicator, so you can highlight that and click edit. Right. Now it's going to be the same thing. If you see an indicator that shows up where nothing's populating in that window, that's because either both those boxes aren't checked or I don't have your account number. All right. The inputs here, I'm going to go ahead and look at my other screen real quick because I want to give you my exact inputs. I change these from time to time, but this is the current setting I've been using, so I want to give you that exact setting. Just bear with me a moment. And when I do change things in the room, I will notify you and let you know. Sometimes I change the default settings because based on market conditions, but you'll always be very aware of that. Okay, on the colors, we're going to go on 0, we're going to go white. On number 1, we're going to go olive drab. On number 2, we're going to make this white. If you're using white background charts, you would keep them black, but we aren't, so we're going to keep this here. And those are the only ones that you need to change. As far as the thickness goes, this will be a 2, 2, 2. All that's going to be your same default conditions. So we'll go through this again. Both these are marked inputs. Don't want to change anything in the input section. If we ever do, you'll be the first to know, and that depends on market conditions. The default settings are great right now. This is the colors. Levels are going to stay the same. And click OK. Got to close this. And we're good to go there. And again, you can always move these a little bit, make them a little bit smaller so they don't take up so much chart space. And then then the last indicator that we're going to throw onto our charts is going to be the trend identifier. So go back to your tools here, pull in the trend identifier. Sometimes I've seen folks where they're layering indicators on top of each other. If I took this trend identifier and moved it right here, chances are, depending on the settings on your MT4 account, it's going to populate that indicator right on top of this one. That's a little bit too confusing. So make sure that when you move the indicators into the screen, you put them into a blank space. You don't want to move it in here. You don't want to move it in there. You want to put it here. It will pull itself to the bottom, but if I put it in here, I'm telling the computer that I want to layer two indicators on top of each other. We do not want to do that. So I'll put it right there. All right. Again, both these are marked. The inputs, everything's going to remain the same there with the exception of the current time frame. We're going to bump this up to 1440. That's 1440 minutes. That means it's calculating what the general trend is for that day. So that's the only setting you're going to change there. Leave everything else alone. The colors, we're going to keep them the same, but you're going to take this and stretch it out to 5. Make it a 5 thickness so it becomes a solid trend line, either bull or bearish. Levels, don't need to worry about anything there. So again, the comment tabs are both marked. The inputs, the only thing we're going to change is time frame. You're going to change that to 1440. Colors are standard colors. Levels, don't worry about that. Click OK. And there's the big red telling us we should focus on shorts. Again, you can put your mouse here and just scrunch it down. I don't like my indicators taking up all of the candle space above. And now your charts look exactly like mine, which is what you want to have, especially when we start trading together. There are other different chart configurations, different setups. This is the foundation of our trading, so you need to get this chart just as we have right here. Right, once you get your chart built, in the live room the other day we had these reversed, so if you went in the same order I just did them here, then your charts will look just like mine in the live room. Now once you've done this, you don't have to keep redoing that for every currency that you open up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to right click on our chart, get rid of that, right click on your chart, and when you right click on your chart, go to template, and when you go to template, go to save template, and then you just name it what you want to name it here. I'm going to call this, as you can see what I've called it is the buy underscore sell underscore zone. You don't have to put the template in there. So I'm going to call this buy underscore sell underscore zone, and it's going to tell me do I want to save it, and yes I do. I already had it in there, so it's going to do that. But once you save it, here's the good news. Once you've saved that, now all you need to do is when you go up to File, New Chart, let's say open up the US dollar against the yen, right click on your chart, go to Template, and you'll see what you saved right there. Buy Sell Zone. Click on that, and there's your template. And you're good to go there. That's exactly what you want to see, is all these lined up just perfectly. Again, if I go to File and open up a new chart, open up, let's say, the pound against the US dollar, the Great British Pound against the US dollar, right click on my chart, template, there's what I saved, buy sell zone, click on that, and there's my chart. Alright, so I wanted to run through that real quick so that way you have a reference here on how to set your charts up and set up the buy sell zone setup. Alright, so that was basically it. So I want to wish you a great weekend, and I'll be catching up with you in the next upcoming live workshop. Now, for those of you that want to move ahead, if you go to your FXTA membership, which you should have received your login details by now, they were sent out last week, you can log into your membership. In fact, I'll go there right there with you, and I'll show you what you can do. Go to the membership. You should have your login details already. And then you can go to new members. And once you go to the new members, you've already gone through workshop 1. If you want to advance to workshop 2, workshop 3, workshop 4, and whatnot, you're more than welcome to do that. But if you do that, do me a favor, still show up to the live workshops, because I always have new stuff to add and new stuff to tell you, and you're going to have questions that we can answer in the live room as well. So I still want you in the live workshops, but if you're like me and you like to move forward and go through get through this information a little bit quicker, by all means you can do that in your membership. If you don't have your login details, then please go to the support desk here, and when you go to support, just fill out a support ticket and let me know, and I'll get that to you. All right? Hope you're having a great weekend. I will be catching up with you real soon. All right? God bless. Bye-bye.